Welcome to another live edition of Pod by the Bay, a special post-game show edition. USF, I put as the title, USF holds off Memphis. Maybe could have put like referees as well on there. It was an ugly, ugly second half in terms of game flow. It was brutal. Collin, gritty win. Able to kind of outlast. What are your thoughts on this? Not only a big road win on the road at Memphis, and what's always a pretty tough environment, but wrapping up the conference championship for the season outright.
Yeah. So first of all, I don't know if you can see me or hear me, but I'm having some like graphic problem here, so I don't know. You got me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I will just say this. First of all, yeah, refs absolute tire fire, but USF did all the things down the stretch that they've been doing as of late, and
Collin, technical difficulties just bounced. So I'll go through real quick. Let's look at the stats while we wait for Collin to pop in. I had to kick Collin real quick. I think this is probably the story, right? And our Enos was huge today. Enos played very well. You can see his splits there: 29 points, 9 to 17 shooting. Didn't shoot great from three, but 9 for 9 from the free throw line. You watch him play; he's got like the whole bag of tricks. He kicks out the legs sometimes. He understands how to initiate contact in the lane. Has kind of some crafty moves when he gets down near the basket. So he's just a scorer, and he made some really tough baskets, I thought, at the end of the game to kind of keep that lead stretched out a little bit. So yeah. Good, Paul. So much time. None of us will get back because how long the rest dragged this game out. Yeah, it was a brutal watch. I would love to. I was kind of thinking of going back and seeing what time the second half started, because we're 5 minutes from midnight right now. The game started a little bit after 9 o'clock. So yeah, it was rough. It was brutal. I think there were still 8 minutes left in the half at one point, and USF had 12 fouls and Memphis had 9. It felt like every possession there was at least one whistle. It was a rough watch. But USF's able to pull it out, win the conference championship outright. I think one thing that flipped, and we talked about it at halftime, was the scoring and the shooting from Memphis. So Memphis was over 54% in the first half. In the second half, let's see there. Let's just look at the second half stats here. Memphis shoots much worse in the second half. Shoots 40% in the second half, shooting 47% for the game. Still pretty good. But then you look at USF in the second half. Thought it would even out. It does. USF shoots 53% in the second half and over 48% for the game. So they end up having a better night shooting than Memphis does overall. So we thought it might even out, and it did. And USF kept Memphis in the game. It felt like at times in the second half with fouls and kind of silly fouls, and some of them were not, I wouldn't think, the best calls, but there are also some where you're beat. You just got to give up the easy bucket. Sometimes you've already lost them. Compound it with a foul. That happened a few times where fouls really far away from the basket and kind of silly stuff like that. So yeah, kind of an ugly game, but every game you end with a trophy, basically. Had that thing won outright. That's always good. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to Collin. Oh, he's back. All right, you're back.
You missed the best soliloquy ever.
Did you not know you and all?
I had no. Where did I lose you? I have no idea.
Right when you started, it basically you were like went into talk and it just cut off, and I've just been filling the air here with
oh my god,
the numbers here.
That is so brutal. Okay, sorry about that, buddy. All right, so couple things. Good. I can rant. You always rant better the second time. First
Yeah,
of all,
there you go.
I think the game, the play of the game for me, the one that's going to stick out is Pinion takes a corner three with about a minute left, and just he hadn't made one all night. He didn't make this one either. But the rebound that came to Nelson, or excuse me, did not come to Nelson. It came to the other Isaiah Jones. And he just out toughed Aaron Bradshaw in the paint. And he's a bigger guy, and he just absolutely one-handed it, rebounded over him, and drew the foul. I think that sort of like encapsulated the game perfectly. USF hustled, smart, in the right position, working hard, making plays. Memphis being lazy, not boxing out, not making a play on the ball. And I thought that was the difference, is those kind of plays. And just a gutty win, gritty win. And also, congratulations to all the wagering community for that foul by Penny with 4 seconds left. Because my goodness, did that have some implications for the wagering community. Holy man! I mean, I thought they were going to run out the clock, and then he fouled. Enos makes the 2 free throws, and Bulls cover the 6.5. So, if you got it early, you had 6.5, and that's a winner. If you didn't get it early, you got 7.5. You still lost. So, yeah, this team's good, man. They're really good. They play hard. If it came down to like right now, and you had to pick the 34 best teams in the country, get an at-large bid, I think USF is clearly one of the 34 best teams in the country. The way they're playing basketball right now, if that was how we broke in the tournament, it's not how we break down tournament. I don't think they got a path except for winning the Charlotte game on Sunday. It's senior day, but it's probably not going to matter. You got to win next Saturday and next Sunday in Birmingham, I think, to have a path there.
Yeah, when we talked at halftime, I think I saw Lenard. They kind of had Joe Lenardi talking at halftime, and he kind of we had talked about what he said before the game, but he kind of said at halftime, basically, if they lose a game from here on. Now he also said this was the regular season finale. USF does have one more regular season game, but he's basically like, if they're not the automatic bid, that means they will have lost a game, so that loss becomes another kind of big black mark on them. So it'd be, all right, who'd they lose to? How close was it? So there's not enough time left, right? So this was big. This one mattered because it's nice to be the outright champion. In the grand scheme of things, it's really it's all going to come down to the tournament. So
80 minutes in Birmingham. That's all we're playing for here at this point now. And it's a shame too that. And by the way, the NIT rule did change this year. So any other year, USF would have had an automatic bid into the NIT. That has gone away this season. So there is no auto bid for the American Conference, the NIT, because for some reason the power conferences now have automatic guaranteed spots in the NIT because there is no God in sports. It's ridiculous. And we're just trying to make everything about revenue for the Power Four, and it's absurd. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. There's no auto bid. Now, is USF an NIT team? Absolutely. They're going to get in the NIT, but just there is no auto bid for that this year.
Yeah, and I think just to your point previously, like if somebody was going to like Bill Simmons-ify the NCAA tournament and have the top seeds draft who they could play, nobody would be picking USF, I don't think, right? Like nobody would be wanting USF on their side of the bracket just because of their style of play and the fact that they do have some guys that can get hot. They have some guys that can shoot. They have some tough lead guards. They have a guy like Isaiah Nelson who, when he plays really well and, maybe doesn't get out of rhythm because he's going back and forth the bench with foul trouble, can be a real problem down there. So USF does have a nice mix. I've seen national people talk about them, and they talk about they have, power 4, power 5 athleticism, which is usually not the case, right? With these mid majors, it's usually not, the athleticism isn't matched. So I think USF's going to be a tough matchup if they can make it for just about anybody. So you said, would they be in the top 30? I think, yeah, because I think most teams would much rather see somebody else than see USF.
Yeah, so it's 30. Well, with the Pac-12 this year, I'm not sure, but it's usually 34 at large and 34 auto, and so it's 30, might be 35, 33 this year. But is USF playing as one of the 35 best teams in the country for the last 3 weeks? Absolutely, not even a question. But is that's not going to matter. You got to win. Just the thing about this game is like you see it like, okay, Wes Enos, fantastic. he can be very up and down, but tonight clearly up, played great, under
really
control.
big at the end too. Made some really tough baskets when it was starting to get a little tight and just kept it just out of reach.
Yeah, clutch, a lot of clutch. Also able to go to the rim too, which is, with him, it's not, you just don't want him shooting threes. You want him to be able to get to the basket too, and he did a nice job getting to the rim to get some clutch baskets. Joe Pinion, I mean, probably the worst game of his career. And that three, the three in the corner that got rebounded was great, but the three that he took
with like 30
some seconds left,
yeah.
It ended up becoming a layup for the Bulls thanks to some luck and some whatever. That is an inexcusable shot. I mean, that is just such horrendous basketball.
The announcer was ready. The color guy was ready to go insane. He's like, "Oh no!" It's Sean, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And it ended up working out well for USF. But if Memphis would have gotten that rebound and gone down, it would have been like that guy would have come unglued. I think so. Luckily, it worked out.
I mean, credit Pinion for 8 boards, 5 dimes, but like that was he offensively was a less than zero black hole, and that shot is just that's bad. That's a kid who's frustrated playing bad basketball, and that's just not good. But really, some credit to the guys, off the bench tonight. Hightower, especially in the first half, was really solid. Jones, getting in there, making those type of plays, and doing that with Isaiah Nelson only playing 18 minutes. That's crazy that you win comfortably and cover with literally getting nothing out of Pinion and your best player on the bench and only playing 18 minutes in foul trouble all night. So like that's what good teams do, man. You find ways to get through these games and still hold them off comfortably. That's what a good team does.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is when in the first half, when USF takes a timeout with 4 seconds left, I was kind of like, it's not like the NBA where you can advance the ball. It's kind of like, what's the point?
Can't advance it in the NBA in the first half anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but like, I loved it.
But then you go down, but were those 2 points end up being pretty important? Changes the whole tenor of the back half of the game there. If it's that's a 2-point game when you're inbounding the ball. Yeah, so
and what a shot.
I do like that, the being constantly on the attack, being like not like giving in, just going. I like that it kind of pays off for you. So it's always nice to see that when you do the right thing, do the smart thing, and it pays off for you in the end. So that's good because that totally changed the tenor of the game if you got 2 less points going into this last minute.
But then flip that too. If you're Memphis and they call that timeout, hey, what do you want to do? Force the guy to the sideline, don't let him throw the ball back over across his body, take away and if you have to double late, double late and force him to take a bad shot.
Yeah.
And do that.
Just let him get all the way. Let him get all the way to the paint, basically. Yeah.
Nobody cut him off. Nobody forced it anything. Especially when he's got to dribble, 45 feet to get over the line with 4 seconds left. I mean, it's coaching. It's just, and it was all night. It was that kind of stuff all evening long. And look, man, I didn't watch a ton of Arkansas State last year, so I can't say I knew a lot about O'Brien Hodgson, outside of his power rating. I wasn't watching a lot of those games. Man, this guy can coach. At the end of that first half, he saw that what they wanted to do and was prepared for that exact situation. He called that timeout right away. The ball was still on the rim. I think he called the timeout.
That's what he called it immediately. That's what I was. Yeah. I was like 4 seconds. All right, I guess, but those points ended up being super important.
And it's a use it or lose it timeout too. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, just those little things.
I think you see a lot of coaches just let it go, right? Just take heave and just, all right, let's get out of here. We got the lead. We're maybe fortunate to have the lead with the way we've played. But he was like, let's press our advantage any way we can. I'm sure he's thinking the more possessions I can get against Penny, I feel pretty good about my chances coming out.
Plus the challenges tonight. You know what I mean? Finding the right spots to challenge, and credit to the video crew. I saw that he had shouted out his replay crew on Twitter earlier this week for their hit rate on challenges and appeals this year. So great job by them.
I know they got guys on the side. I don't know. I'm not sure. I've seen some guys that's all. They just have a guy on the sideline with an iPad and he's just watching over and over and over, and he's just
2 guys.
Hey. Yeah, and they're just alerting the coach right away if something looks off or if they think they got a chance.
Which is what the NBA, and that's kind of what the NBA is now too. It's the same kind of thing, that a lot of schools have gone to that. And I think you're seeing these math-based coaches, and I would definitely put Hodgson in the category of like a math-based coach. And coming out of that Alabama tree, Nate Oates, 100% math-based guy. Like, well, you can love it or you can hate it.
Look at the shot charts.
But
it's at the rim. They're shot chart. They're at the rim or they're shooting threes. They are.
Yeah.
It's just all. There's no inefficient shots really, so you can kind of tell they probably lean that way in terms of trusting the math.
Yeah, and it's corner threes or get to the rim, and it's Daryl Morey's college dream is what they're playing, and that's kind of, and it's effective, and they find ways to get it done. This is a team that has really gelled together. The intensity that they play with, I think, is fantastic. Hate to be asking this, but do y'all have any info on Hodgson's future? Well, there's definitely some Twitter accounts out there that want him to be in Syracuse next year. Here's the good news. I believe I haven't confirmed this, but I believe, and I'll have to relook. If he did go, I believe he just coached us for a year for free. We get all the money back. I believe those are the terms of the deal. So basically, the Syracuse Orange would get us an NCAA, and I would assume that he, to get the job, he would probably have to win the next two to be a highlight guy for a place like Syracuse or something like that. So yeah, I mean, if it happens, he coached this year for free, got us to won us conference championship, won us a tournament championship, got us to an NCAA tournament.
So he's from the Northeast. Do you think a job like Providence would appeal to him?
Yeah, look. The Providence is a tough job, but that's a Big East job. That's like.
You think Billy Donovan would leave the Bulls and go to Providence? Get tired of rebuilding?
Chance Billy Donovan goes back to college, man. You get to the NBA, it's just a better life. It's better everything, man.
He's an alum.
Oh, for sure. And a Hall of Fame coach, but no, you don't leave the NBA to go back to college unless you have to.
Yeah, but I would imagine Hodgson he'll be a hot commodity if they can kind of win out here, because the way they play, the style they play, his ability to kind of prove it in the transfer portal,
and he's won everywhere he's been.
Yeah, he's going to have a nice record. So yeah, I think he'll be appealing for a bunch of schools. What do you think USF, are they prepared now? If they're making the investment on the roster side, do you think they're prepared to make competitive investment on the coaching side to keep a guy? I know they seemed like when Golish kind of was headed out, they made a really competitive offer to try to keep him.
So that's the thing. It's yes, would he get an extension and a raise here? Absolutely. Rob Higgins will find the money and find a way to sign off on that. Is it going to be enough to keep up with a top 20, top 30 kind of job? Who knows? And sometimes at that point, it's not even maybe about the money. It's about the comfort. Do you have a plane? How close are you to an airport? The things like that that make the difference between jobs. How much you pay in your staff, because it's not always just about you. It's also about the guys.
How is the Syracuse job at this point? Is it still an elite job, or is it starting to slide back a little bit? Is it like a Nebraska football kind of where it's starting to?
Nah.
It's starting to slide a little bit.
Outside of the facility, which is not good for basketball, but never has been good for basketball. Outside of the facility, I think it's a top 12 job in the country, for sure. I've been there.
What's their NIL operation like though?
That I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing is I'm assuming these jobs based on, what you have access
are
to.
Pretty even, yeah.
But kind of resources. If you have Arkansas Tyson Chicken money, Arkansas is a top 6 to 8 job now, probably just because of the money. Maybe even a top 5 job. That, where they are in terms of who's willing to pony up and what you can get guaranteed. Of course, that makes all the difference in the world. And would Syracuse be willing to step up? It's private school, so sometimes that's a little bit different. But yeah, I would assume that people care about Syracuse basketball. It's a great job.
It seems like they have an official football NIL, but may not have. I'm trying to see if they have a basketball arm.
I would assume that they do. And if they don't, Carmelo's going to make it happen.
There will be. Well, yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I think these are always for a while the problems you have until you kind of move up in the world. But these are good problems to have because that means you're winning and getting closer to moving up in the world. So could anything be tied to? Could you tie a coaching contract to future conference revenue?
What do you mean?
Like a percentage of future conference revenue, like something to that. But I know there are some steps in contracts where if you go to a Power 4, if you're going to a Power 5, it's going to bump the pay up. But
I think that might apply more to football than basketball. As much as we are in, this is great and this is fantastic. This is also very countable revenue for the USF.
Yes,
for coffers as well. That basketball revenue is real, but it is not. You don't get out of a conference because you're good at basketball.
No, it seems to be there seems to be a one-way ticket now.
There's two sports. There's two sports that matter to TV: football and spring practice. That's it.
Don't tell Steve about the spring practice part. So let's talk a little bit. Kind of last final things on this game. Anything else you want to hit here? Obviously, Memphis has usually been a pretty tough place to play. Did not appear. I could tell you, I could see the $1.2 million shortfall or whatever in ticket revenue. You could see it on the screen. It was not a packed house. But still a tough place to play, typically.
Yeah, and a good building too. Like right in the middle of Beale. Like good place to watch basketball if you've ever gotten to go to a game there. But here's the only thing that I'm worried about from tonight's game is that I don't think there should be any question that Zay Nelson is player of the year in the league. But a performance like this on ESPN2 maybe doesn't help his case there that he should be conference player of the year. But I still think he's maybe put enough distance between him and anybody else that it shouldn't matter and that he should still be the best player in the league this year. I don't think that's even a question. So good and has been, I don't care what league you're playing in, that kid gets on the floor for you. And maybe outside of the Michigan backcourt, I think he starts basically like anywhere else in the country.
He's got an offensive rating of
Michigan frontcourt, I should say.
126.4.
Yeah, I mean, he's a real deal, man. And I am very excited to see what this team can do with 2 more games in Birmingham with everything on the line. The last time USF won a conference tournament was also in Birmingham in 1990. And then in 92, they made the tournament they actually got an at-large. So there's 3 tournaments in the history of the program. This would be number 4. And the first one was in Birmingham, and hopefully we'll make the last one Birmingham too, because this team deserves it. They're just playing so great. And like Wes Enos, he's a roller coaster. There are nights when he's not great, and then there are nights where he is this. And when he is like this and in control, playing with his teammates, finding guys in open spots, offensively drawing so much attention that it opens up space for other people. And tonight it was the young guys. It wasn't really your starters that were outside of him that were fantastic. It was the others, and to be able to play in that kind of system and show that kind of leadership. Man, this team's fun, man. I want Enos back. I want that kid back. I would love to see Nelson come back too. In this modern NCAA, who knows? Maybe you could find a way to make that happen. But he played a lot of games and a lot of seasons at Arkansas State, so it's going to be tough to find him another year. But I would really love to see some of these guys come back for next year. But let's enjoy the ride while we got it for now. That's for sure.
I think an interesting thing on Enos listed as playing 40 minutes tonight.
Yeah,
Omojafo played 35, played 20 in the second half.
Yeah.
So you had 2 guys kind of with all the foul troubles, and the bench is definitely, you've seen the bench shorten quite a bit. and they're kind of getting into that tournament rotation, it seems like. Hopefully you can kind of get up on Charlotte. I think it's the next game, right? Hopefully you can get up on them and kind of get some of the other guys in there and rest these guys' legs. But you will have a good extended time off, right? Like you're going to have
you got 6 days.
Yeah, so
or 5 days. You get 5 days off, and that Charlotte team, like they're, they've lost. They did lose on Wednesday, so they've lost 2 now, which means they've lost 6 of their last 8. Not good. I haven't seen anything out of them that brings any kind of like fear or anything like that in the long term. This is a game that USF should win, especially on senior day, and especially with the passion that these guys have been playing for. Like, they play hard, man. I don't know if they were playing this hard earlier in the season, but right now they're playing real hard.
Sometimes it is kind of a once I know my role a little bit.
The kids could read the paper. They know the game doesn't matter for most likely, but you still want to win on senior day. You still want to send it out the right way. So
what is interesting, it's senior day, which
it does, and then 5 days off after, which helps too.
Yeah, it is senior day, which doesn't mean as much, it feels like, anymore, but these are some guys. I can't. I don't know if you may have. Can
Seth,
you hear me?
Can you guys just hear me and not Seth? Somebody in the chat, let me know, because I can't hear Seth right now.
Yeah.
Or is that me?
I don't know. Thumbs up in the chat. Thumbs sideways in the chat. Anybody? You got? He says. Somebody said he can hear both.
Seth, say something.
Hello, Collin.
Oh my God, my headphones died.
Okay. Yeah. So there's gonna be a little echo, but I was saying senior day doesn't matter as much, it feels like, but these are guys that Hodson has had for multiple years. So I think it'll be important for him to win or play those guys play well.
Sure. Like it would just be nice to see this team, find a way to get it done. So right now the bracket, who is the 4 and who is the 5, I think is what matters. Because that's who you'll get.
I think it was UAB and FAU.
Yeah, so right now UAB is that's like the worst possible matchup for USF, the 2. Anybody but the team that beat us the way that they beat us, and the team that also knocked us out of the tournament 2 years ago as well. They're just tough to play, man. I want no part of that. Can somebody else get in there? Is there a way that somebody else get in there and get the 4 seed from them, or maybe knock them off in the quarters? That would not suck. I really don't want to play UAB again.
Playing UAB in Birmingham would not feel like a great great prize for the 1 seed.
No,
but they have been terrible at home, so maybe just being in the city would be tough. So here's a look real quick at Charlotte. Really bad on defense, it looks like. So should be a high-scoring affair. Yeah, they don't turn people over,
and they're really slow too. 346 in pace, so speed them up.
Yeah, so I'm anticipating a lot of points against Charlotte. Would be my guess.
Yeah, that would be the goal. And I'm gonna now spend the next 20 minutes after we hang this up and see if there's any way that FAU or Charlotte could do. Are we better off losing? Oh, okay. I got a path here.
I think they've locked up the top seed, right?
We might be better off losing on Sunday. I'm not saying you're going to lose the game on purpose. I'm just saying that if these tiebreakers are okay, so Charlotte lost to UAB, so UAB is tiebreaker there, and then
here are the current standings. I'm not sure if these have been updated with tonight's game. Is there a way that we could
throw them in a 3-way dance with FAU?
So UAB's 10-7 according to this.
No, because Charlotte's going to hurt your 3-way dance possibilities, and then FAU beat UAB, so they would have to tiebreak. Okay, so we need to beat. It would be in our interest to beat UAB or to beat Charlotte rather, to keep them out of the scramble. And then we would want UAB. So we need FAU to win and UAB to lose on Sunday or this weekend, and also for Charlotte to lose. And then FAU would have tiebreak over UAB. So, yeah, so we need UAB to lose on Sunday is what we need. And UAB plays a terrible East Carolina team at home. That's no good.
Well, they're terrible at home.
And FAU gets at Wichita, who is much better. So two unlikely scenarios there, but if they both went our way, that would be good. It looks like we're playing. Is there a way that Wichita could fall? No, there is not. Okay, so yeah, we're probably playing UAB as the 4 seed outside of two very unlikely results on Sunday.
Well, there you go. All right, Collin, I don't know if you can hear me, but anything else left? No, I think we may be gone. Any more questions in the chat? If you guys have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to sign off here in a second. Let's see. Can UAB get the 3 seed? No, right?
No.
Yeah.
I can't hear you right now, but UAB cannot get the 3 because they're 2 games. They're 2 games back with 1 to play. So no, there is no path there.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to do these, maybe do more of them during the tournament potentially. Trying to grow our new Twitter presence until we get the old one back. But if we don't, we need to keep growing this one. So thank you guys for watching. Like, follow, all that stuff. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch or somewhere else, check us out on Twitter /X. You can find us there at the _ BAE Tampa, I believe. So check us out there, the _ BAE Tampa. You can find us there on Twitter. Share it with your friends. Help us grow that until we get our other one back, because Steve screwed the pooch and got us hacked. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Go Bulls.
AAC champs, baby. Go Bulls.